Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariel and I make videos about books. So it's a new year and I decided I would go through my bookshelves and take the books that I did not like from this year and past years. No, these are all from books that I read in 2022. Books that I read in 2022 that I did not like, and get rid of them, because I have this bookstore that I go to where I sell my books and then I get to buy new books, so it's like a good incentive to get rid of my 1 or 2 star books. I'm keeping my 3-star books because a few of these on my bookshelf are 3 stars, which is like, do I need them? No. But am I going to keep them because I feel bad about buying them and I don't want to get rid of them yet? Yes. So until my shelves really overflow, then I'll consider only keeping the 4 and 5-star reads. I think that's my goal, like in the future, to only have books that I'm like obsessed with. But as we are right now, I'm fine with filling out the shelves with my 3-star reads. So I have, I don't know, probably like 10 books that I cleared from my shelves that I'm gonna get rid of. And I'm gonna tell you why. And then I'm gonna go get rid of them and then do a haul, maybe, of the books that I buy with the, you know, the money that I get from getting rid of these. Okay, cool. I don't know where we should start. Let's start with the boring ones, the ones that like have a quick, easy explanation for why I'm getting rid of them. First is this. So I guess it's called Imagine Me Gone, but your brain fills that in. That's cool. And I got this, I think, at a thrift store. Either that or at a like take one leave one book kind of place, you know, in the neighborhoods. And I got it just for the cover. Like, I just was like, oh, this looks fun. And I didn't even read the back because it was either $1 or it was free. And then I read the back and I was like, I don't care about this. Like, it starts off with, when Margaret's fiance John is hospitalized for depression, she faces a choice: carry on with their plans or back away from the suffering that may lie ahead. And then it's like, she decides to marry him. And I was like, who's gonna tell this like Gen X writer that that's the conundrum that every Gen Zer is gonna face when they're getting married, because everyone is depressed. It just sounded like weird and boring and like not good. I don't know. And I didn't even look up if it had good reviews. I'm not interested in it. Then another one that I may have taken from a a take one leave one kind of book place, and I just took. Gone Girl. I should not have taken this. I don't know why I took it, because I'm never going to read this. I haven't seen the movie or have read the book, but I know the ending and I know like all the twists, because like everyone does. I feel like it's like the most referenced thriller book ever. So when I already know the ending and like the twist to the book, I don't want to read it. So I love Gillian Flynn so much. I love her other books. Like, I've read Sharp Objects and Dark Places and beautiful, lovely, amazing. Some of the best thriller books ever, but I'm not going to read this, so I don't know why I own it. So bye-bye. Then we get into some more complicated ones. First, this is a big 1-star, DNF. Did not finish this. This is one of the very few books I did not finish. And I had this sitting around in my possession for literal years, like since I was in college. That makes me sound super old. I'm 24. So that's still like quite a few years. Like that's like 3 years. And I just never read it. So I was like, I'm gonna force myself and read it. I actually picked it from like a blind picking books challenge thing, and that sucked because I did not want to read it, and I still don't. I read about 100 pages in before I could no longer stand it. The story was not interesting to me. The main like guy is pretty racist because it's like written to be in like the 1800s, so I think Miss Elizabeth was like, I can make this very racist character and then just say, well, it's historical fiction. And I just did not vibe with that or anything that went on inside of this book. So I stopped after 100 pages, and from the reviews I read, it did not get better. Yeah, so getting rid of that. Then I have, what should we do next? Ooh, this is a double one. Yeah, I fell, I can't say words. I fell into the trap. I fell into the trap of the Spanish love deception. And I did not like it. I did not like being in that trap whatsoever. You can see I have like notes, and you're like, oh, so you must have really liked it. No, these were like purposefully, I don't know if I wrote down what type. Cringe, literally. Like one of the notes was for cringe, and that's the one that I have the most tabbed. And then another one's cute, and I literally have one tab at the very end, and it probably wasn't even that cute. So that kind of tells you how I felt about this. It was very cringy. I did not like the writing. I did not like the characters. It felt very like middle school-esque. So then when a smutty scene popped up, I was like, why is this here? This should be young adult. This should be a young adult book. And that's all I have to say. Then I got the second one because I was planning on doing a video that never came out because I just could not put together my thoughts on why everyone liked this series and I didn't. But yeah, this one was better. I would say Spanish Love Deception is like a 1, and this is a 2 or even 2.5. I didn't absolutely despise this, and I thought the girl was very fun. I liked her. The boy, I was like, eh. But overall, it started off good, which I think is why I have the higher rating, and then it just divulged into kind of the same exact story as this and same weird, immature writing. So sorry if that offends you, but it's got to go. And now someone can get it for cheaper, so you're welcome. Then I have You're Invited. This is another thriller from Book of the Month. I feel like I have a few flops on my shelf that are because of Book of the Month, because I'll just buy it because I'm like, it's cheap, and then no one talked about this. It was really just a random buy that I was like, that sounds very interesting. And it does sound very interesting. It's a girl that goes to Sri Lanka for a wedding, and then and she goes because her best friend is marrying her ex, and she gets invited to their wedding. So like, crazy. And it takes place in Sri Lanka that I've never been to, don't know anything about. So I was like, ooh, fun. And it started out good, and I liked the writing. I don't know how she made the characters sound, but I didn't know where it was going, and I don't know if the author knew where it was going. It was just a mess, especially the resolution. Like, I can't even remember the resolution because it was so random and weird and made no sense, and also like relied on very overly used tropes and just was bad. probably a 2-star this one was, because the writing was overall good and I would read another one of her books, but not this one. Then we have another thriller horror kind of book. I think this is technically horror, but I don't know why. Hide. My work has a book club and I suggested this for the book club like a fool, an absolute fool, because I had seen like one post about it and I was like, that's an interesting premise, and I got it and it was bad. It involves this like game that goes on at an amusement park, like a reality game show kind of thing, or so you think, and it's at this amusement park, and then they have to hide, like play hide and seek from a killer, but they don't know it's a killer because they think it's just like a reality show, you know? So very interesting, fun premise, such bad execution. It's also like, it's so cute. It has a little map and everything. And the beginning I was like, okay, like I was kind of vibing with her writing, like the first chapter, and then it went downhill. There were so many characters. This book is small, but it started out with like 20 characters. So your brain's overloaded and you're like trying to memorize and know all these characters' names. And even at the end of the book, we were like, wait, who was that one girl that died at the beginning? And like we all just like could not remember the people because they were not very well drawn out. So overall it was bad. The ending was so bad, and I think she was setting up for a sequel, and I was like, no ma'am, stop it right there. Bad. Then these two last ones I feel like are going to be controversial. I'll leave the very controversial one for the end. Next, One Day in December. I literally just talked about this in one of my vlogs, but I hated this so much. It was the worst romance read of the year, I'm pretty sure. Well, definitely, because that's, oh wait, but Against the Spanish Love Deception. Spanish Love Deception was worse in writing, but this, the characters annoyed me more. Because first of all, if you didn't know, this isn't even a spoiler because it probably says it on the back and it happens in like the second chapter, but it involves cheating, and the girl, he is like dating her friend, and then they cheat together. Ew, so already I'm not gonna like them. And like, I don't know, like I can kind of like remove myself from the situation and be like, okay, it's a book. I don't care that they cheated. It's a book. But they weren't likable characters, so then I kept just being like, they're not likable and they cheated. So bad. You can watch my little like vlog that I made in December if you want to hear more of my in-depth thoughts, but this book was so insufferable. And yet I finished it because I don't know how to DNF things. Like I've literally only DNF'd one book. That one. So lastly, I'm scared to show this because it was so hyped up. I was so ready to love this. I keep going so close to the camera like I'm like telling you a juicy bit of gossip, but that's what this is, because I did not like this. And okay, all the light we cannot see. I had heard so many good things, like so many people being like, this is the most amazing book, will have you in tears, will have you screaming, crying, throwing up. I felt nothing. I felt nothing for these characters, nothing at all. the way it was written moved at such a weird pace, and when the two characters that are being talked about meet, then it's like super weird. The guy like is like automatically obsessed with her, and it was like, I wish that like none of this could be happening and we could just like run off and get married. And I'm like, you met her literally 2 minutes ago. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, he was saying that stuff like after 2 minutes, and I was like, this. And it's not like they were even like long distance pen pals. They literally, strangers met, and then he's being all dramatic. I was like, what? And then when one of the characters died, I literally laughed because it came out of nowhere and it was so random and there was no build up, and I was just like, and I felt no emotion towards them. So I was just like, oh. So yeah, then I felt really down on myself because I was like, am I just not understanding this? What's going on? Like, why am I not crying from this book? And then Jack Edwards said in a video that he didn't like this, and he like rated it like 2 stars or something. And I was like, yes, my opinion is fine. Those are the books that I am getting rid of. I'm gonna go to the store and then I will come back and let you know what books I bought. Hello, I am back. I went to the store, sold my books, made like $13 in store credit, and so I bought some books, and I forecasted that I'd buy 3, and that was pretty correct because I got 4. And I only spent like $5 of my own money, so we're gonna go over them. So first we'll start with Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. This is a book that I feel like is a staple on BookTube, Book Talk, just like anywhere that young people are reading books, because it's been raved about, and I feel like I never hear someone say it's bad, and the premise is very interesting. This is a book about, I believe this is the book about a woman who, her daughter gets kidnapped, and then like 10 years later she's on a date with a man, or like is dating a man, meets his daughter, and she like looks and acts exactly like her kidnapped daughter. So then she has to be like, is that my daughter? And figure that out. And that premise is insanely interesting, and I kind of want to read this like right now. I don't know why I never bought that. Then this is exciting. Homesick for Another World by Otessa Moshfegh. I can't talk, my brain is like dead, but I got this for $1.39. What? And I went to Barnes & Noble right after this, and I saw this there for full price, obviously, and I was like, I don't need that, I have it. And these are short stories apparently, which is exciting because I am in the mood to read short stories because I'm kind of in a book slump. So I feel like short stories will be good to read because it'll give me like a sense of accomplishment quicker. I haven't read any Otessa Moshfegh books, but I have My Year of Rest and Relaxation. I just like haven't gotten around to it. So that will be good to start off with. Then I have another Steinbeck Centennial Editions book. I have like literally all of these now. This one is The Pearl, and I started collecting these when I found like 2 of them at the thrift store for like $5 each, and I was like, ooh, those are cute, pretty little editions. And I still have only read Of Mice and Men, but I own like Grapes of Wrath and East of Eden and all those other giant ones, and I just have not read them. This one's a tiny one, so little, so maybe I'll get to that sooner rather than later. Yes. Lastly, this one's kind of the most exciting. Maybe not, I don't know. They're all kind of exciting. This was a pretty good haul from a used bookstore. Drive Your Plow. Wait, what is it? Drive Your Plow. Okay, Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. This is a translated book, and it's a thriller about this lady who finds that her what is it? Her neighbor's dead, and then people keep dying or something like that, and it sounds very like kind of, it says it's kind of thriller meets like fairy tale. So that sounds fun. Thriller, comedy, political treatise, I don't know. It just sounds interesting. Also, the cashier, when he was putting my books away, he was like, this is a good one. I was like, okay, say less. It's coming home with me. And it's also the Nobel Prize winner in literature. So that's fun. And yeah, that's my little haul from the books that I unhauled. So good. 4 reads that I'm very excited about. That is a very good haul. So gonna start reading those, I guess. And yeah, thank you for watching. This is your sign to get rid of your books and sell them, and then go buy more books. Goodbye. Have a good night, day, morning, evening, summer solstice. What? Good night. After all that, I said good night, but I meant goodbye. Goodbye.